Okay, Jacobs family, here we are at Star Sound Audio, place where I did one of my very first recordings in this town, right next to Bizarre Guitar, which is where my brother Mark got almost all of his guitars, most of which I still have. So let's go on in and see if I can get a shot of the best bird in the universe for you. Okay, we got permission to see Pete. But Pete has this tendency to whistle. Yeah, now wait, he's going to whistle at me at first, but then he's going to do this. So thanks, Pete. Then he's going to, he does that for everybody, by the way. Then he's going to scream at the top of his little parrot lungs for some reason. Huh, Pete? Yep, that's right. Terry was his owner. Terry was the one that got me the Ensoniq keyboard, even though I didn't think I could afford it. I've never regretted that. Terry died of cancer. He didn't want any visitors. I understand why. Most people are as fake as fate can be. Yes, I think you're handsome too, Pete. And this is John. He's good to me, by the way. And downstairs there is where the remnants of recordings have been stored. I've already found some for Whitewater, for Jeff Peterson, but I haven't found my own. I'm still looking for it. Enjoy. Got some blockage going on here. Okay, so I used to get off on this exit like every day for decades on my way to pay people at the El Dorado, both in El Dorado, Reno, and Shreveport, mostly Reno, and pay them correctly. That was really, really important to me. The thing about payroll is it's not just about the people, it's about the government. It's about the numbers, it's about accounting, it's about taxes, it's everything. It's 401k, it's short-term disability deductions, it's flex plan, it's 529 plans, it's everything. And you have to do it right. One little penny off in one little area affects the entire company. Okay, so there's a close-up of the Sliver Legacy. Also on what's called row, we'll call it death row. Here's a little side interest here. We used to have this thing called a parking garage, okay? See the arm up there? Is the arm still up there? So I was in charge of making sure that people, you know, paid correctly their parking. The system kept breaking. Rob Mushu had insisted we had the system because he wanted to make sure that, like, you know, deadbeats didn't park here, or employees. It was only for guests. Well, guess what? He just finally had to give up because the system wouldn't work. I was even in charge of the software of the system, and it didn't seem like it was the software that had the problem. It was the hardware. Yes, I used to go up and up and up and up and around and up and around because I tried to follow the rules as being one of the employees. And by the way, now even the owners are employees. Ooh, better be careful. Sacramento, that's where Dan is from. That's where Irv Joseph is from. So, what was I saying? Anyway, they wanted people to park on 8. Heck no. And the directors, we would always park on like 3 or 4 or something. But I never took advantage of my position. I tried not to do that. I did have free coffee all the time, and that was probably the thing I missed the most. Ooh, I can't park here. It's El Dorado Club parking. So I'll go back up on higher ground. We'll go up on higher ground. I remember distinctly that Cindy Carano tried so hard to keep the garage clean. And it was like, it's impossible because cars are dirty. Maybe not the Tesla ones, but these are. Little side note here, Outlook. I always dread seeing Outlook messages because the only ones I get Outlook from are, I can't say their name. I will say it later. All right, let's get a little shot of what's going on here. Here's the Rado. You know, they're always really pretty. I think they have pretty stuff. But what they didn't have was a good heart or a good attitude. I think that Whitney, okay, there's Harrah's, like what, the oldest building, casino building in the area. See the bank there? That's where I used to work many moons ago. I walked up the street to get an interview at the El Dorado, a place that a godly man had said, I was delivered from a casino job. I thought, what the heck, I'll go check it out anyway. I walked in the door, I knew it was where I was going to be, and I was there for, what, 22 years before the tumor hit? Anywho, yeah, sometimes people that say they're Christians are, guess what, not. I'll stand back just a bit so that you can see the smoke and you can see the sign. Okay, that sign, Reno. What does it say, the biggest little city? That used to be in a different place. The biggest little city in the world. It's a gritty city. It's a you-know-what-y city. Can you see down there? That used to be a railroad track. Okay, I remember the days when the railroad used to run across the street. We would have to wait to get across to the El Dorado. Well, Don Carano is the one that wisely actually put the train underneath a few city blocks. And so now this is where bands play, okay? Back in the days when there was actually music and joy and fun. Here's a little view of Sierra Street. I think that's where Bob Jones, not Robert E. Jones, not the judge, Bob Jones, CFO of the El Dorado, bought a place. Okay, here we are. We're going to go in the main area, which is on 3 Skyway. This used to have more than just the single sign in it. They always had advertisements. Well, guess what? There's nothing to advertise anymore. I'm not a guest. I'm a table tipper. Do I still need to wear a mask? Okay, here's an interesting thing. The song that they're singing is, you don't have to stay forever, just come on over. That is so much like the El Dorado's philosophy of what? Oh, adultery. Okay, so we have ultimate adultery here. Very cool. Here's a picture of Ivano Santamari. We used to pay him. Zach Wilde, their food cost analyst, who did a great job, has some stories to tell. One of these days I'll get an interview with him. Okay, and we're going to go down the escalator. Does this have more activity than the one in Vegas? Deadness at its finest. Now here's the saddest thing I can see. Okay, I have been through changes in this place like crazy, but this is where I used to get my mocha. It's gone. It's closed. Everything is gone. Tom Waters, who used to be the Keno manager here, had a dream, had a vision once where the casinos were dark. I never believed it. I didn't ignore it, but it was just hard for me to believe that such a thing could happen. And it has happened. I will say that their buffet was my favorite. Long time ago, Sedalia always treated me very well. She was the manager. Javier Roca was in charge of food, and those guys rocked. Alright, this is interesting. We have to practice social distancing, otherwise we might get bit. Alright, I have been in all of these places, for meetings, for eatings, for hanging out with people, for chewing people out. This is where I used to go up every day to get to my office. I had a lot of offices. They moved a lot. It was in the 3rd floor executive boardroom that I first saw the plans for the Silver Legacy. Looked good at the time. Down there is where IT used to be, accounting used to be. And this used to be my office. Oh yeah, we had more office than we needed. And it wasn't this pretty, it was pretty ugly. And this is where I ate for decades. Oh yeah. They've redone this, it looks pretty good. No food. No employees. Hello.
Who are you?
I used to work here. Who are you?
Because our
Okay, this is where guys hung out. Okay, this is where the money was made. Used to be. I will say this is where John Doria used to work, and he was the one that told me about the dream he had about lava flowing in the Reno area right at the same time I did, before my brother did. This was where Tom Waters used to work, somewhere in here. Keno. Linda Doria used to be in charge of credit when she wasn't being table games manager, and she used to be married to one of Sparks' mayors. Twice. Yeah, she married him twice. Don't ask me why. This is where they used to have all their special events. They would have these streets lined up for Brew Fest, Italian Fest, all that kind of stuff. What they would do with the salaried people, which I was one, was you would have to, you know, put in your full hours of work and come here and, like, you know, pawn bread, things like that. I got out of it as much as I could. I didn't really like it. I think I had my first beer on the street here many years ago. Pawn shop. I only pawned one of my brother's guitars, and it was there. Okay, here we cross the street. They have some kind of a dog thing going on here, which is cool. At least the dogs don't have to wear masks. Back to the parking garage. There's so much to tell about this town. I've been around so much, but maybe later.